Plaintiff Sarah Schmidt barely knows the defendant, but her first impression of her was the noisy neighbor from above. Sarah's suing because she claims her condo was damaged due to the defendant's leaking air conditioning unit. Defendant Jessica Hankey says living above Sarah was a nightmare because Sarah was aggressive and relentless, and Jessica was forced to file a protection order against her even after she moved out. Jessica denies causing damage to Sarah's condo.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Jessica and I barely even know each other. My first impression of her was she was the noisy neighbor above me.
When did you meet her? When?
I'd say, honestly, it first really started whenever the damage accrued back in September.
Okay.
September 24th.
Got it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How was
Never really knew anything about her. Just knew she was really noisy, and I just tried to push those annoyances aside and to continue to be a friendly neighbor. I just wish I could say the same for her. So on September 24th, 2018, I immediately contacted Jessica, letting her know that there were watermarks on my ceiling, as well as wet jackets in my hall closet. And we had a plumber come out. It took about a month to finally get someone to come out after many people calling off. And his assumption was that it was condensation building up around her AC unit hose that caused the damage, but the only way to confirm that would be to cut a hole in my ceiling while her AC unit was running or blow out the hose that he had told her to replace. So since it was fall and we weren't in any time rush and the damage wasn't getting any worse, we had agreed that we would wait until she used her AC again to see what would happen next.
Okay, let me stop you. He told her to replace a hose. Is that what
Correct.
you said? When did he tell her that?
I did.
When? Your understanding?
That would have been early November or mid-November 2018.
November, but the water started in September, and he told her
September 24th exactly.
in November.
But it took us about 4 different plumbers to finally get someone to actually show up.
Okay. And let me get some more preliminary background from her, then I'll get back to you. Ma'am?
As Sarah said, I barely know her, other than the time that I spent in the condo living above her. The limited interaction we had together has taught me that she is aggressive, demanding, unreasonable, and relentless. She has harassed and threatened me over the time that I was living above her.
In what way? Tell me about that. Tell me how.
Yes, sir. So if you look at page 13 of my evidence, you will see a page from the petition order I have for protection order for her. Between September of 2019 and August 2020, that she harassed me about repairs she wanted to her condo ceiling. She demanded my home insurance for repairs to her ceiling, and my attorney and home insurance advised me that any of my information shouldn't be given to her and that we needed proof of liability for these damages. November 18th, the respondent texted me a couple times harassing me for money again. I did not respond as she had previously stated that she did not want any more communication with me, and that was on September 17th of 2018 that she said no more communication. On February 27th, when I was moving from my condo, she came out and yelled at me and the movers, demanding money again, had her dad call and threaten me that night also. The police were involved, and that's
Threaten you saying what?
I will follow you until you pay me.
Said she was going to follow you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, did she?
Yes, she actually went out of her way to find my new address and other personal information about me after I moved. And that's when I petitioned for this order of protection.
What did she do to get your address?
I'm not sure. That's why I felt very uncomfortable and unsafe.
She came to your house?
I received mail that was addressed from somebody else, but from Sarah Schmidt, which was a 10-day demand letter. And that's how I know she found my address. And it was addressed in my maiden name, which none of my things for my
I understand, but why did you go and get a restraining order? Because she sent what she believes was a bill to your house.
She did not send a bill. She sent a 10-day demand for damages that I am not responsible for.
Okay, that's a bill. That's a request to pay a bill. That's what that was. And you went and abused the court process, going to say that she was threatening your life or your body or your person. That's what you get restraining orders for. You just told me, you say, and that's when I decided, when you receive something in the mail, which is what a person should do when they're suing you. They don't have to give you a 10-day demand. She was being nice to give you a 10-day demand at your house. That's exactly where it should go. At your house, preferably in your hand. And you went through all this. She must have got it this way, however she got it. That's what investigators do. That's what people who do service of process. They get your address and they come to you and they serve you a notice of either a current lawsuit or I'm going to sue you. And that's all she did. And your response, oh, let me get a restraining order so she can't ask for her money no more. Were you advised to get a hose?
Yes, and I did, Your Honor.
Okay, she says she got the hose, ma'am.
Correct. Then on June 12th, I contacted her again and let her know that my ceiling was now cracking around the watermarks that were previously there. June 23rd, as you can see on page 21, she admits that there's standing water in her drain tray for her AC unit, indicating a blockage. The very next day, she had a plumber come out and snake the blockage. He even then indicated, I believe that is on page 20, on June 24th, the plumber indicated that the blockage probably would have caused the brown spot, which was the damage, and the cracking that came along with it. She admits responsibility multiple times. She admits responsibility on page 19 from June 12th, again, and admits responsibility on page 20, and again on 22. So this whole time, she's admitting responsibility until the time it comes to pay. And I have pictures of the water damage.
Let me see the pictures. What page are they on?
Water damage is on pages 10 through 13, as well as 15.
Ma'am, did you ever take responsibility?
Sir, I did admit to a responsibility. If you look at page 2 of my evidence, I will read the text to you. I have been very cooperative on this issue. I am only responsible if there is a leak to repair, if there is even one, because 2 plumbers at this time had come and no leak had been found. If you find a leak, I'm happy to have it repaired, as 2 plumbers had told me that they could not find a repair or proof of liability for me.
Okay, she found a leak. Did you get it repaired?
If she had found a leak,
yeah, she found the leak. Did you get it? Did you pay for the repair? She found it.
There was no leak. Where?
Aren't you suing her about the leak?
Oh, yes. The first plumber that came out indicated not necessarily a leak, but the condensation can pull up around the. But
what was repaired? What you had repaired? That's what I'm referring to.
I didn't have anything repaired. She had to replace her hose as well as have a blockage snake.
So the damage caused to your property is not repaired?
Sorry, you're correct. Yes. I did try to get it repaired and I paid $500. I used the quote that she wanted me to use because I've been trying to do what she wants throughout this whole process. But if you look at pages 6 through 9, this is the shape that they left my home in. I've tried to have them come out multiple times to repair their repairs, and the more they come, the worse it looks. All I would like to have is my home restored to its original state of value, because I would like to move and I don't want to have to pay for something that I didn't cause. Even though she's taken responsibility. September 18th, 2019, please understand I'm not refusing repair or responsibility ever during this. She then goes on and says on page 20 that she's now only responsible for the repair of the leak, not the damages that her leak causes.
She says there was no leak. What did they repair then, ma'am?
What I know from when I had a plumber come out to snake the line, there was a blockage. He did not find a leak. And then if you look at page 3 of my
Do you
evidence,
know what they
I have
repaired? Do you know what they repaired?
a blockage
How? How did they repair it?
with a cable snake.
A cable snake? All right.
Yes.
And they attributed
and
that
that's
to,
on-
what did they say that
sorry.
came from, the blockage?
They did not say.
Okay. So what were you referring to when you said you would take responsibility?
I was referring to if there was a leak that needed to be repaired, I would be happy to actually have that leak and her damages.
And the blockage
taken care
didn't
of.
cause a leak? The blockage didn't cause it to leak?
They did not state that ever in any of my.
What did
any
the
of
blockage
plumber's
cause? Why did they have to fix the blockage then?
The blockage caused water to back up in my drainage pan for my AC.
And which obviously leaked to her property. Leaked.
There was, sorry, two
It
plumbers.
clogged up
three
on your
plumbers.
property first. Her property suffered the damage, ma'am, just as you say. You admit that you will repair the things. You're splitting words with me today. You just admitted that your house caused the blockage, and you are confused, at least you want me to be confused, about whether your blockage caused her leak. I'm not confused at all, like this judge that granted you a restraining order against this woman, a typical maneuver when someone owes money and the other person comes to collect, they run to the police to get a restraining order so they never have to pay. But today you got to pay. $2,400 is your judgment. Have a good day.
I'm just so thankful it's all over after 2 years of stress for no reason.